Well, we're not going to spend a lot of time on the last game. I made comments after the game. The players actually competed well in the game, played hard, had a good competitive spirit. We got to play a lot of players, which are all, positive things. Obviously, some things that we could do better and things that we need to learn from to continue to improve. Players of the week: Anthony Steen, Chance Warmack, and Michael Williams on offense, Nico Johnson and C.J. Mosley on defense, and special teams Brent Callaway and Landon Collins. Um, John Fulton is, going to be able to practice some today. We have a couple guys out there that may not be full speed today, but we expect everybody to be, ready to, practice and be good, by tomorrow. So, I just want to make everybody understand here that, we're not in any conversations about anything other than the game that we're playing. Unless we win the next game, we don't have another game. All right, we're not. We're trying to work our way into a conversation by how we play. We're not trying to hold a position. We're trying to create one, all right, by what we do and how we play. So, everybody in this organization needs to understand that we're dismissing all talk about anything except, playing Auburn. The Iron Bowl was a big deal. It's a legendary game that people remember for a long, long time and still talk about games that happened in the past that had huge impacts and effects on, the future of what happened. And they're traditionally very, very tough games. So it's important that we play our best game, and I also think that, Auburn is playing their best football of the year. They can run the ball effectively. They got two really good runners. The new quarterback, Jonathan Wallace, started the last 3 games and has been, very effective, as a runner and a passer. They've got some good skill guys outside. They're talented front 7 on defense who have some pass rushers. They play very, very well. Probably one of the best teams we played all year when it comes to special teams. So, we have lots of challenges and lots of things that we need to do, that we need to prepare well for this game, practice well for this game, and we know what kind of game that these games are. And our players need to be aware of that. We need to do the best job we can of preparing for a very good team.
The Denver Post reported this morning that Alabama and Colorado State are close to an agreement to play a couple of games. Is that something you can tell us about?
No. When we sign a contract to play a game, we'll announce it, and that's up to our administration.
Okay.
So, whenever that happens, I think that's up to them. It's not up to me. We're still looking for a game next year. I will confirm that.
Secondly, at the wide receiver position, it seems like y'all have kind of had a nagging injury here and there all year. One week it's one guy, one week it's another guy. Do you feel like you have enough receivers who understand the X and the Z and the slot to get through that, or has it been a difficulty at some times?
Well, it has been a difficulty at times because we have had, a lot of, first of all, we lost a couple guys at the position. We're playing a couple freshmen. Some of them playing very well, sometimes not as well as we'd like, but they've been productive at times, and we're satisfied and pleased with the progress that they've made, but want to continue to improve. But we also like to get, the guys that have a little more experience healthy enough that they can go out there and prepare for the game properly, practice like we need to practice, so we get a little more continuity in what we're trying to do. And hopefully this week, Kevin's fine, and we'll get him back. And that was the most recent guy that had an injury problem. So, hopefully we'll be a little better this week.
Just wonder if you can evaluate the play of your linebackers so far this season. I know you lost a couple guys last year, but it seems like a lot of those guys have filled in those roles pretty well so far.
Well, C.J. Mosley has obviously been the most productive guy at that position for us, and we end up playing a lot of nickel and dime based on the kind of offenses we've had to play against, and he's very, very productive in all those things. And traded Brees and Nico have done a good job. They haven't probably gotten as many opportunities because, again, it's a little bit the style of offenses that we've had to play against. you know, they'll both get an opportunity to play this week, and you know, we're hopeful that they'll both play extremely well.
And then on punt return, Christian Jones had another fumble there, and then Cyrus came in. Is it safe to say there's a rotation there between the two?
No, there's not a rotation at all. You know, Christian Jones is, you know, going to be the punt return guy, and I wanted to try to get Cyrus more experience at doing it, you know, so we didn't take Christian out because he misplayed a ball. But I think that, you know, our guys got to understand that in each ball that we have not fielded properly, it's because of poor fundamentals. You know, we're not getting squared up on the ball. We're trying to make tough catches outside of our body, over our shoulders, you know. So, you know, those kinds of things we need to do better fundamentally, so we won't have those kind of issues and problems, because those are huge changes in field position. And the number one thing when you're in punt return, the number one important thing is possession of the ball. I mean, we get the ball back. Let's just get the ball back. You know, you don't always have to try to make a great play. Just make a smart play. And possession of the ball was most important. So, you know, in the last couple, 3 games, we've taken far too many risks in terms of how we're managing, you know, getting the ball back.
Coach, what happened Saturday reminds me of what you said a few weeks ago about the only thing predictable about college football is that it's unpredictable. Is it also something that you can stress to your players and use as a, I guess, reinforcement that anything can happen?
Well, I think what we try to stress to our players is trying to learn from your previous experience. You know, what I see happening is, you know, people get sort of emotionally stressed out relative to their circumstances, which is where they're ranked, who they're playing, and all of a sudden you get tentative and don't play aggressively. You don't prepare the same way. You're worried emotionally, which affects your ability to focus, and you don't play as well. That's not, you know, none of these things are bad things. You know, there's nobody taking anybody out and shooting them behind the barn, all right, because we got an opportunity to play in this game. I mean, we got an opportunity to play in this game and maybe another game. That's a good thing. That's something that everybody worked hard to create, all right? So, you know, be positive. It's what great competitors love to do, and you know, go compete and play your best games. You know, don't get emotionally stressed out and start, you know, playing to keep from getting beat, and be tentative about your approach to what you're doing. And, you know, I think it did happen to us, and it probably happened to some other people. And, you know, that's what we try to, you know, guard against. But, you know, you got to stay focused on the process of what you're doing right now. And what made you a good player and play well as a team in some other part of the season is the same things that are going to make you a good team and be able to play well individually now. So it's not about the circumstance that you're in. It's about the vision that you have for what you want to accomplish and understanding what you need to do it. And go do that. Play your best football. Play our best football game and not good enough to win, then I'm okay with that. I'm just absolutely, you know, want the players to play their best game and have the right sort of disposition about doing that, rather than being caught up in the circumstances of, you know, what's at stake or whatever. That's why this game is the most important game of the year, and we need to be focusing on what we need to do to play well in this game.